Folks, in this video, we are going to be going through my top 3 squeeze stocks heading into this week and really this entire month. These are all stocks that have extremely mouth-watering setups or catalysts that you need to know about. Now, I do want to be clear, my personal thesis on this overall market is pretty damn bearish. I believe we aren't close to the nearest bottoms and that the Fed's battle with inflation is still in its early game. But outside of the macro analysis on a practical level, there's always juice to be drank. And whenever you get these massive bounce days like we saw today, that's always a unique opportunity, right? In this video, I'm going to start by walking you through some of our plays from today, some that we briefed on in ZipTrader U, and then we're going to talk about the ones that you need to know moving forward and the setups that are very, very conducive for runs. If you appreciate videos like these where we talk about not just the overall macro situation, but also practical trading ideas, make sure to let us know in the comment section down below. And this evening's video is brought to you by our ZipTrader U program, which includes our step-by-step lessons, private chat, daily morning briefings, and full price target list, along with all other trading resources. And by popular demand, we weren't going to do this, but by popular demand, I have decided to go ahead and reinstate a coupon code FLASH40 will get you 40% off our one-time fee for lifetime access. Okay, so today I want to go ahead and start with Mr. Finger. FNGR, and usually when you see finger in the market, you think you're about to get a certain finger, but not today. And as you know, 30 minutes prior to market open, every single morning we put out what we call a daily morning briefing for ZipTrader U members. And in this morning's edition, the first stock that we called out was this guy at $4.12-ish a share. Why? Well, finger was showing proof of concept in the pre-market. It had run in the prior session, and short interest was skyrocketing, signaling a battle between buyers and short sellers, which can be a lot of fun, especially when the overall market is supporting it, like on such a green day as we had today. They also had a recent announcement of a deal with a big insurance company with a ton of assets under management, which creates this image that they have this massive backing behind them. All of these things work together to provide a nice run for Mr. Runny McRunny today. We briefed on it at about $4.12-ish a share this morning, and it ran to $10.1 in the after hours before cooling down a bit, which is about a 145% run, briefing price to highs. Now, obviously not all of our briefing plays run. The briefings are to drown out the noise in the broader market so that you can identify and put a spotlight on stocks that actually have catalysts. But this does show the value in actually sitting down and putting in the work every day. And quite frankly, if you don't want to join us, you could do this too by spending an hour or two before market open and creating a spreadsheet and writing down exactly the characteristics that are making stocks run in your current market condition. Right now, you're seeing a lot of stocks run on price discovery. You're seeing a lot of stocks run on FDA approvals. You're seeing a lot of stocks run on takeover rumors. In other conditions, it might be something else. Back a year ago, it was NFTs. If anybody did anything with NFTs, the stock would go up 30, 50, 60, 3,000%. So whether you join us or not in ZipTrader U, I don't want to overly plug, but I recommend you make something like this, something that looks like our daily morning briefings, where you have not just tickers, but also specific bull and bear criteria and written down reasons for why they are moving. That way, when one shows proof of concept, you are on the front page, you know why it is running, you know what your bull criteria is for it, and you already have a trading plan in place. But anyways, now the question becomes, when does this momentum stop and when does the next momentum cycle hit? So this is my thought process. Market willing, you get a pre-market pump tomorrow morning and then watch very, very carefully for when that dies off and starts tanking. When it starts tanking, you'll see huge profit takers who rode the previous momentum wave freaking out and running for the exits. But oof, if it can retain today's bottoms at 450 or even 520, I think that would be a solid bouncing board and enough proof of concept to see the next momentum wave by Wednesday or Thursday. If it gets derailed, we're going to have to wait for the next wave. But hey, you have certain criteria. If the stock hits the criteria, great. If it doesn't, shite, move on. Okay, next, FNHC. So we briefed on this bad boy at about 30 cents a share because it was having a nice contrarian rally in the pre-market after a complete Friday bludgeon. It ended up more than doubling to 69 cents at highs. The micro caps are very fun for this reason, irrationally insane moves. My guess is that due to that aggressive sell-off, though, that we had towards the after hours, you're probably going to see it break below our red directional SMA line and eat up most of that move. Maybe a small chance you see another attempt upward tomorrow, but unless you get an insane amount of volume in the pre-market, that's probably not going to happen. I think this is probably dead, but hey, I'm willing to be wrong if you see some proof of concept in the pre-market tomorrow or the next day, but I'd say 90% chance this is dead. The other one I want to recap from today is LVWR. This was a troublemaker. It pumped huge in the previous after hours and pre-market sessions and then dumped into most of today before trying to pick up into today's after hours. What's interesting about this one though is that this is a stock that is in price discovery mode. It just spun off from Harley-Davidson. It's their previous e-bike electric motorcycle division. And when you're in price discovery mode, you get a lot of insanely aggressive trading back and forth like we saw during this extended trading period. And in other stocks that recently got into price discovery mode, well, guess what? They didn't just have one period like this. They had many, usually 3 or 4. And I would be shocked if we don't get at least another 1 or 2 massive volatile sessions in the stock before the end of this week. That is just customary, regardless of market condition with a new stock that is in price discovery mode. Okay, so the top 3 squeeze stocks that you need to know about. What are they, Mr. Charlie Toe? Number 1, I'm going to refer you back to FNGR, Mr. Finger. If Finger hits our bull criteria of showing signs of bottoming higher after its first major take profit cycle, which I think is going to come tomorrow, then I think it's a great candidate for further battling towards the upside. If it can't show that minimum of bottoming out at previous days' support levels, then I would not want to have any conviction in it moving forward. Number 2, Apron. So Apron is falling pretty aggressively, was down 45% today, but it does have a history of these aggressive falls and then rebound periods. And they did just do this new deal with Canaccord that wasn't very popular. It provided about $15 million worth of dilution to shareholders, and they announced the departure of their CFO. So obviously not a good day for Madam Apron. So my thought process with the stock isn't so much that I like Blue Apron, but it seems to me that it would be a candidate for a contrarian squeeze. Short interest is at 43% of free float, and they gotta lock in profits at some point, right? Locking in profits means buying back shares, which could rally up the price quite a bit if it's in a period of time where there's low liquidity. I think there's a chance that happens soon and stems a new rally. Number 3, finally, Surge. Yes, a short squeeze candidate is named Surge. This one I expect to be a player sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I do think Surge is a prime candidate to, well, surge. The short interest on this bad boy is 56% according to the lovely Ortex. It's been attempting to hold an overall upward direction since February, and quite frankly, it made higher highs all year until the post-earnings period, where it got pretty much completely derailed. However, it has been holding pretty well compared to the overall market, which is quite telling because with high short interest, super small caps in a bearish market, you'd expect them to be doing much worse than everything else. In reality, this is holding up much better than everything else. It's in a bull market for the year, or at least it's up year over year, I should say. You'd expect things to be way worse. I mean, you have all this selling pressure from shorts at the same time where so many of the so-called smart money participants have such a bearish view on this. So I mean, at the very least, this is a battlefield where the short sellers have been very wrong on how easy it would be to get this down. So look very closely this week for this to regain upward momentum. I think the crucial point would be retaking that upward direction over our red directional SMA line and continuing to show some proof of price strength. If you want to learn more about how to get started in the stock market, how to break down charts, how to risk manage, how to trade and be an effective battler in this overall stock market battlefield, make sure to check out the link to ZipTrader down below. Coupon code FLASH40 will get you a discount. If you are just looking to get started and you're not ready to spend any money on a program, totally get that. I have a free, completely free trading tutorial playlist, which I will link to down below. I made that a few years ago, and you can get started there, do some paper trading, and when you've built up to that, if you feel like you still need that extra program, well, we're ready for you. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, folks. I think this is the first time since we started the channel that I've done 2 videos in one day. Make sure to hit that ravishing like button and also subscribe if we provided some value for you.